Hello, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer with mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I make videos about toxic, narcissistically abusive relationships. And if you have a question for me, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Just make sure you keep the email 2 to 3 paragraphs max, and you're very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. And give me a little bit of time to get to it because I do have a lot of emails I have to get through. I also have a lot of other platforms that I create content for, so it takes me a little bit of time to get to it. But the fastest way to work with me is to get involved in my Toxic to Triumph community. That, among other courses that I do, are all linked down below in the description. With that being said, let's get to this email. So this email reads, "Good morning, Matt. Thank you for caring enough to do these Q&As in the first place. It's really helpful. Thank you very much." And so to bring a little bit of clarity, just quickly, one of the reasons why I do it is because, guess what? A lot of times people who are going through abusive, toxic situations, a lot of it is behind closed doors. And so when we do this, when we talk openly on YouTube and other platforms that I do these type of things with, it gets things out in the open, and it not only gives the person who I'm answering questions for validation, but also the people who have questions that may not write in, and they start to realize that it's not just them that are dealing with it, but that it is an actual common issue. So let's get into this email a little bit further. So my stepson's mom agreed to supervise visits at mediation, but they were supposed to go through her father at his home every Saturday. She was so disrespectful towards her father, sleeping during the visits, talking about the court order with the child, and telling him his half-brother wasn't his brother. That's horrible, right? That's absolutely terrible. I'm sorry to hear that your son was going through that. And this email continues. One day her dad just had enough, and she was canceling last minute. And after not seeing her child for 2 months, he cut her off and refused to do any more visits for her. Good for him. So to just bring clarity, because I know there's a lot of moving parts, the father of the mother who was doing the supervised visits cut her off, stopped doing the supervised visits because of all the canceling, talking about the court with the son, and sleeping during the visits, and being inappropriate and being disrespectful towards him. So good for the father for doing that. And so let's continue with this email. My husband has tried to get her to sign up for financial assistance at a supervised visit facility to see their son, but she refuses to do so. Right? So the father in this situation, who has full custody, is trying to get the mother, who has supervised visits, to sign up for financial assistance, so she can see the son at a supervised visitation. How can we let her see him? She's refusing to do so. How can we let her see him? He is hesitant to meet with her because she has been abusive towards him and the son in the past. I would not do that. Right? I would not meet with her in person. She has supervised visits. She was ordered supervised visits for a reason. So I would 100% not encourage, and if she's been abusive towards the husband to a point, abusive towards the husband and the son to a point where she was ordered supervised visits, that's pretty damn serious. Right? That is pretty damn serious. So I would not put either one in that type of situation. Not only that, but there's a high probability that that's exactly what she wants, right? The reason why she's sabotage the father, not participating with trying to find any type of financial assistance for the supervised visitation. Let's continue with this email. He is hesitant to meet with her because she has been abusive towards him and the son in the past, and he doesn't want it to get ugly in front of the child. And I agree with you 100%. So in situations like this, and this is actually a very common situation, regardless if we're talking about a woman or a man, right, where they start to self-sabotage the visits because they want complete control. So she's making a decision to not apply for the financial assistance, is canceling the visits. So guess what? She's not participating. Let her. It sounds like you and your husband care more about her seeing the sun than she does. She needs to participate. One of the things that people don't talk enough about when we're talking about boundaries, and that's what this is. This is a boundary issue, right? And quite often the codependent in the relationship, and we have to acknowledge that there's a lot of strong codependent traits here where we're willing to even consider, right, putting ourselves in a position. I'm glad that he's at least saying that he's not gonna meet with her, not gonna put himself, and not gonna put the son in an abusive situation. But one of the core essence of boundaries is who's responsible for what, right? She's already ruined. She fucked up the relationship with her own dad, right? With the visitation. She's the one that's not participating with finding a supervised visit facility and not trying to apply for the financial assistance. And it sounds like you guys are caring too much about that, and you guys are trying to, because I get it. The son's feelings are going to be hurt at the fact that he doesn't get to see his mom. Guess what? Allow for his feelings to get hurt. Quite often, people who struggle with codependency want everyone to feel comfortable around them. But guess what? When you do that, you're actually lying to your son. You're actually painting the mother as though she is actually participating when she's not. Allow for your son to see who his mom really is, right? Then allow and teach him how to process his feelings about that, right? It's the mom's responsibility in this situation to figure this out. She's the one that created this mess. She did it, right? So allow for her to figure this out. And this is hard for people. This is hard for people who struggle with codependency because they quite often they don't want the conflict. They don't want people's feelings hurt. They want to people please. They want everyone to feel comfortable. They want everyone to, but what happens is that you're actually enabling the bad behavior, right? Allow for this to happen. Allow for these dominoes to fall. Allow for the son to see who the mom really is. Allow for, guess what? Allow for his feelings to get hurt. Teach him how to process his feelings through that process. Because if it's not this, it's going to be something else with a mother or a parent for other people who might be struggling with this, right? Allow for them to see this person for who they actually are, right? Boundaries 101. Who's responsible for what? This is her responsibility. Now, with all that being said, right, I would highly encourage for you to at least report all of this back to your lawyer. Make sure that all the proper channels are covered, because there is a possibility that she could circle around and she could try to say that you are not the ones participating. Make sure that you cover your basis when it comes to that, right? So and make sure everything's documented. Make sure we're doing everything the right way, so she can't spin around in 6 months, a year, to say that you're the ones not participating. So thank you very much for writing in. For those of you, once again, if you have a question for me, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Make sure you keep that email 2 to 3 paragraphs max. You're very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If it's unclear or if it's too long, unfortunately, I will not be able to get to it. So thank you very much. I will see you in the next video.